So now that we've talked about a many-to-many data relationship structure and the one-to-ones and the one-to-manys, I want to throw a couple curveballs at you so that you can think about different variations that you might want to use in your projects. The best part I'll say about what we've just done is it does accommodate every single variation of what you ever might need. You just might decide in the future you want to do things a little bit different depending on a different scenario. The first curveball I want to throw at you is, let's say I wanted to not just have a relationship between a user and a team, but what if there was something unique about that user's relationship with that team that I wanted to annotate as well? Say, for example, what if they're the team leader of that team? Well, let's go ahead and see how we could make that happen. And we can do that if we go to our data collection. We realize that it's actually not on the user collection that we want to put that information about the item. It's not on the team collection. What we actually might want to do is say, hey, on the actual relationship between this user and that team collection, I want to indicate that person's role on that team. And so let's add a field. And for now, we'll just do single line text. In theory, this could also be a relationship field in and of itself, where just like we have statuses on tasks and projects on tasks, we could have a roles collection that says, hey, here are the types of roles that people can have on a team. You can have the leader, the organizer. In this case, we're going to manually type in some examples that we could have in a dropdown if we wanted to. We're not going to worry about that now. But let's say the role on the team is leader. Let's say analyst. Let's say project manager. Let's actually make a leader on every team. So we're going to make sure each team has a leader. And we're going to say this is a analyst again. So now we have a bit of information in addition to the relationship between the user and the team. We're now describing that relationship with a value, saying this is the role of this user on that team. Another great example that you might find on something like this is, let's say you're doing a application where you've got a list of products as well as a big list of vendors, and many vendors can supply many products, and each product can be supplied by many vendors. Well, you're going to have a relationship field between the vendor and the product so that you can know, like, hey, whenever I want to look at my product, where are my options to get it? But some really important information about that relationship is, well, what's that vendor charge for that product? Do they have a minimum quantity that you have to order? This is important information that you need about the relationship between the vendor and the item. And you can put that information on their own individual fields directly on the relationship record. So now you don't just have a relationship record with the two IDs of the records that you're relating. You've got data describing that relationship more clearly. Now that I've added this information right here, let's go ahead and go back to our page for our teams. And let's maybe add in our field where we actually set in the relationship records. Let's just, for a moment, add. I'll copy this. I'm going to paste it in right here. I'm going to put it right at the end. I want it in between. This is not designed how I wanted. So we've put our role here. We're going to click on that, go over to data, and we're actually going to pull this from a specific record value, which is the record that we've just set in. So we're going to say from field, the record that we've just sent in is our team users relationship collection. And we're going to display the role on the team from this relationship record. And now when I go over, initially I see immediately we have live updates in Bildr, so I see these updates hit right away. But if I refresh the page and I go and get the data fresh and new, I can now see I have that person's role on this record. So I know who's in charge as the leader, I know who's the analyst, or whatever I needed to have about it. So that's just a little bit of a variation on a standard many-to-many relationship, is describing that many-to-many relationship with other unique data.